about time. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first HarlequinCasts Company of Heroes. Angoville, it is so good to be back. I've been wanting to cast Company of Heroes for some time now. And I just want to say that I know a lot of you followed me from when I was casting Company of Heroes online. May it rest in peace. And the rest of you I picked up from doing Dawn of War 2. So I'd like this to be a place where both Company of Heroes fans and Dawn of War 2 fans can come and appreciate each other's games from time to time. So I'm going to happily be mixing these together since a lot of people have a little bit of crossover anyway. But with that being said, remember that my brain is still kind of locked in Company of Heroes online mode, so you're going to have to give me a little bit of leeway for some of these casts at least, because quite a bit changes when you jump back between the two, and honestly I haven't really kept up with vanilla Company of Heroes that much, so I'm sure there'll be little mistakes here and there, but for the most part I'm going to try and just kind of cast this right down the middle of the line here so that people on both sides of the games can appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get this game started and take a look at who we've got around here right now. Oh, I'm clicking off Angoville. There we go. On the northern side, controlling the blue Wehrmacht pieces, we have Mr. sztefenfu. And sztefenfu actually goes by sztefenfu on the forums, and some of you who know from my Company of Heroes online days, sztefenfu was casted on my channel a couple of times there. So I always like starting with someone who's familiar. That sort of helped out this a little bit. And his opponent on the southern side of the map, controlling the red allied pieces today, we have Mr. LoveLeiarde. I'm going to go with that as a pronunciation. And both of these players, by the way, I think LoveLeiarde is top 20-ish, and sztefenfu is top 15-ish, kind of. You know, they're both way up there in the leaderboards. Fun gentlemen indeed. The map is, of course, Angoville. Let's go ahead and get this started now. So, I'm pretty interested in this. The biggest difference here, of course, other than the fact that you don't have hero units and you don't have army items and that sort of thing, is, of course, commander abilities. With Company of Heroes Online, you either were or you were not an armor commander. You chose that ahead of time and you went into the battle with your armor commander skills. Here, of course, if players so choose, they can wait a little while before spending skill points during the battle and can decide in the middle of the game whether they want to be armor or airborne or infantry or whatever they see fit. So there's a little bit of strategy that goes on with that as well. So anyhow, we can see that a little power building going on here of the Wehrmacht quarters right now for sztefenfu. I should just call him sztefenfu. I think I'm going to call him sztefenfu for the rest of this matchup. And just kind of in general heading out, you can see that he's looking to cap the left-hand side. Very common to cap this munitions point and this normal strategic point here, just so you can kind of connect them both together right off the bat. Meanwhile, we can see down here that it looks like LoveLeiarde is just going to go ahead and split across both ways here, and I believe, yes, his engineers are just going to go ahead and cap this victory point. And if you'll notice by looking at the overhead view, oh god, I missed having a tactical map so much. I'll try not to gush too much about how much more I prefer the Company of Heroes replay system to the Dawn of War 2 replay system. Anyhow, as you can see, going for that big strategic point and just kind of grabbing up some territory. Later on, he can go back, grabbing munitions points and whatnot here. We can already see it looks like some Volksgrenadiers are moving out, Rifleman squad is moving out, and sadly, this Rifleman squad does not have a Bazooka Joe in it. Oh, Bazooka Joe. You were endless entertainment here. All right, so we have our first little conflict going on here. I'll talk a little bit about this barbed wire in a sec. But it looks like some pretty good cover here from both sides, but I think, yeah, the Riflemen are just kind of leading this off pretty well. Okay, both sides taking a single casualty there. Oh, no, it looks like the Volksgrenadiers are getting a little bit unlucky. Even being backed up by Pioneers, Volks are just getting murdered in this situation here. So Volks having to retreat, Pioneers retreating. Riflemen doing quite a good job. They just kind of got the initiative there. Did some good damage, and you can see kind of aggressive capping going on here on the left between the engineers and the riflemen now moving up to grab this point, which is, of course, very key. And it looks like, yes, we have a machine gun team coming out right now for sztefenfu, and I think that machine gun team is just about to address this problem. Yes, it will. We've got some beautiful-looking MG42 rapid-fire action here, and we'll see, is he going to get anything off there? No, they got out of there just in time. They're not going to get suppressed or anything like that. About this, I really do enjoy any sort of creative barbed wire tactics on this map. There's a lot of stuff you can do in terms of not only just restricting motion, like you can see here. This is a very common place to drop landmines because everybody likes to cross the map here. So if you want to hold on to one side of the map or the other, cutting that off is always a smart move. Oftentimes we'll see barbed wire here as well, if not over here. But the other neat thing that it'll do is that I'm sure he'll play around this a little bit, but you can get really creative with barbed wire on this map and severely restrict retreat paths. So I'm sure we'll be seeing some of that. It looks like sztefenfu's pretty clever along those regards here. Now you can see sztefenfu is finally just moving out and capping the stuff on the right-hand side of the map. So he is gunning here for the left-hand control. As you can see, he's moving up with the majority of his forces right now. MG42 backing up his Volksgrenadiers. Looks like getting a single kill off of this squad here. And for the most part, let's take a look around at the builders right now and gain appreciation. I suspect that a lot of these kind of... Ooh, what do we have going on here? All right, so MG42 is setting up. Unfortunately, it looks like LoveLeiarde has a semi-nice kind of flank going on here. We'll see how well that's going to work out. You can see he's got heavy cover from behind this bales of hay, which is kind of odd. Coming up from the south right now, okay, this is a good point here. He's kind of distracting away this MG42 team. Unfortunately, having to retreat right now. Simultaneously, a lot of bad blunders kind of happening here. He almost had a really nice three-pronged attack. And as you can see, all of the timing was just off a little bit with that. As a result, each prong of that three-prong attack was basically attacked individually. And he almost inflicted no casualties. I think this heavy machine gun team took a single casualty. Yeah, that's just about it right there. So that was a resounding victory for sztefenfu right off the bat. We can see here that I'm going to take a look. I'm going to go ahead and swap on down to LoveLeiarde's point of view. So note the color change on the mini-map there. But you can see he does have a 4 rifleman opening with 2 engineers. This was common even in Company of Heroes Online. I'm guessing that hasn't changed very much. And here we see, yes, a little bit of artistic self-expression going on right here with his with his barbed wire and stuff. Sorry, I was just remembering. There's a great game that I was commenting on a while back where I was talking about artistic self-expression and barbed wire, but that's okay. We'll talk about that later. So we've got some riflemen now pushing up here on the right-hand side. Looks like he's going to go ahead and split up his forces. He's reinforcing these forward squads here. That's going to cost him a bit of supply, so that'll actually set him back quite a bit. And a very interesting position here on the machine gun. This is almost a called shot for sztefenfu, just deciding he was just going to hang back. sztefenfu is really kind of laying back on the beat with this attack pattern here today. You can see that he's not really going out for a ton of territory here. Obviously, on this map, the aggressive way to go is to grab up the right-hand side of the map and just sit on those victory points, because the right side of the map does have double victory points, whereas the left-hand side of the map has just the one. And you can see he's really opting late game to finally grab that victory point. He's had it under his control for some time, just didn't want to waste the time picking it up. So again, a little bit of creative use of barbed wire here. He didn't get a chance to finish that thought, but just kind of barbed wiring off this area is another great way to A, prevent retreat paths, and B, to just kind of prevent people from moving into your territory there. Got a little bit of early engineer flamethrowers coming up here, and I didn't quite see what happened to the machine gun team that was up there, but that's okay. Riflemen moving up here with engineers. So now we can see bifurcated forces kind of attacking both sides of the map right now, whereas sztefenfu is just kind of hanging out in a nice little defensive position here. Let's take a look around and see what we have for upgrades. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we've got the Browning automatic rifle upgrade going. That is a big upgrade here for the infantry. It makes them great against infantry. But it does cost a lot of fuel, so we'll have to see how sztefenfu reacts to that. Because when you see that your opponent and here we see the completion of that design a little bit there. Yeah, there we go. Going to wall that all off with the barbed wire there. When you see that your opponent has gone for Browning automatic rifles, that's a nice clue as to their tech path, and that it's going to take them a little while before they can get anything like Greyhounds or anti-tank guns. So we'll have to see how sztefenfu reads this. Right now, oh, and there goes the upgrade right away, and you can see, unfortunately, they just got pinned as soon as that upgrade went, so they're not really going to be able to do too much of it. Oh, never mind, making me eat my words. It looks like he just eliminated that Pioneer squad right there. But for the meantime, pretty good positioning here on this. Oh, beautiful looking flank, however. LoveLeiarde not going to be outsmarted here, just kind of flanking around. Very, very powerful early game armies with riflemen and stuff tend to rely very heavily on flanking maneuvers, and this is, of course, no exception. Anyhow, still no sign of tech out of sztefenfu here. And here we have a nice looking forward bunker. I'm going to go ahead and swap back to sztefenfu's point of view because this can be kind of decisive here. We'll see. He hasn't spent any skill points yet, but I'm looking to see exactly which tech path he's going to go down. Again, we can see this beautiful actually, you know what? I think this is not quite watertight right there, but oh well, that's close enough. You can see here the riflemen are now doing a sort of retrograde attack, now pushing back towards their own territory. And this is where you really have to look out because riflemen, Browning automatic rifles, backed up by flamethrowers. This is a really fierce army right now. This is basically all of LoveLeiarde's army just charging in here. You can see he's taking a little bit of cover in his bunker right now. MG42 team is set up, but it looks like he's getting completely surrounded here. So far, the top part of the forces took the majority of the casualties, but now the flanking is really starting to kick in. However, somehow just by hanging out. Yes, it looks like just by kind of hanging out there. He didn't even use, he has For the Fatherland, but I don't think, he doesn't have enough munitions to use it right now. Just by just kind of hanging tough and using his bunker and using his MG42 team, even though he lost it, it looks like he was able to take care of that. So a pretty interesting defense right there by sztefenfu. It really, really looked, for the most part, like LoveLeiarde had the advantage there. Anyhow, we do see a SupplyYard going up now. That's the next big investment of fuel for LoveLeiarde, meaning that he could be going into a motor pool pretty quickly here. We'll have to see if he's going to go ahead and get any sort of scouting on. Okay, here's our next big clue. You can see here that he has the base defenses up right now. So that's the fortify the perimeter upgrade. So he's going right down the artillery support side of the defense doctrine today. And that's all good. So fortify the perimeter. Sorry, I'll explain this because I know that we have some Dawn of War 2 players here. Basically, that just upgrades all base buildings to have little machine gunners on them, but also it means that you can reinforce from around forward bunkers and stuff. So you can see this is a very powerful bunker here. Having this in a nice central location is going to allow him to, these medics can pick up wounded units, put them back in here, and eventually it'll spit out a brand new grenadier squad. Also, units can kind of huddle around it for warmth and resupply. So that's strong control over the left-hand side, but again, the left-hand side isn't going to win you the game. 2 victory points on the right-hand side, meaning at some point sztefenfu is going to have to attack that. And you can see LoveLeiarde. It's in his best interest to attack sztefenfu whenever he can, because he has control right now. He wants sztefenfu to take casualties on his own turf, so he's not constantly under attack. It's just kind of an aggressive move here. Unfortunately, you can see here that he's just kind of testing the limits of where he can and can't attack, and he's starting to realize, I believe, that this left-hand side here is pretty locked down. Double machine gunners everywhere, awesome use of barbed wire. You can see a little bit of ninja moves going on here by these double flamethrower engineers, dropping landmines in the center of the map, cutting down the barbed wire, and whatnot. So poking a little bit of holes. I love doing that, by the way. If ever I see someone with a nice intricate barbed wired thing, even if I don't know why it's there, I'll just cut a hole in it. Just kind of like, in case you have some diabolical reason for having that there, I'm going to cut a hole in it, just so that I can retreat through it or whatever else. Anyhow, putting landmines on the center of the road, nice defensive move. You can see he also upgraded his own. Oh, that guy just took a bullet to the brain. You can see he already upgraded these guys to have their own minesweepers. Not a bad idea. This tends to be very campy right around this area, and you can see it's no exception because he's all over that anyways. And here comes the repairs. God damn it, I just finished building this thing, and you got, flamethrowers! Okay, gonna have to retreat away from the flamethrowers. Anyhow, the reason I was saying that's a good idea is because, it looks like there's no sign. Okay, so he went ahead and, again, put up a triage center. That's another big source of fuel there. So he's not going to be having anti-tank guns anytime soon, meaning he is going to be quite weak should some Pumas come out on the battlefield. And lo and behold, we do see that the Sturm Armory is going up right now. So I think either sztefenfu realized that his opponent does not have the ability to put out anti-tank guns or whatnot, but he's going to go ahead and go for that. However, mines are not a bad idea. In fact, we'll have to see if sztefenfu falls for that at all. But this is kind of creative here too. I'm not as sure what the hell's going on with this. Maybe he was trying to write something on the battlefield. I'm not quite sure. But anyhow. Again, you can just see that this is a total no man's land. He has complete and total control over this area. For the Fatherland is activated. However, the flamethrower engineers have breached in the front defenses right now, just burning away at everybody. Massive infantry assault going on right now. You can see hopefully he's moving up his other MG team. No, he is not. Just tons and tons of firefighting going back and forth. However, these gentlemen can reinforce from this bunker. That is key, and this bunker is picking up wounded right now. For the Fatherland, by the way, is a buff that's going to give them increased all sorts of stats based on being inside of friendly territory here. So it's pretty much, I think it's just a defensive bonus. And Company of Heroes Online, you could level it up to do all sorts of stuff here. So the reason why I really like this, I don't know about the second half of it, this junk going on here, but this line in particular, the wonderful idea, and you can see Grenadiers just popped out of this bunker right here, is that he knows he has an arc of fire on his machine gun that's roughly down this direction here. And so just cutting off the flanking pads and making it so people have to kind of funnel into your line of fire. Awesome defenses there. And yes, here we have it.